booster box unboxing for the Perfect Order set. So I thought I would do that again and continue that trend with the new Chaos Rising set that just released recently. And the last booster box took me about 3 hours to go through. And if you are a returning viewer, you will know that I really like to slow down and take my time with all of the cards to really give them all some attention and love that they deserve. So, without further ado, let's get started. Lily Hollow ASMR. You can see some of the fun art on the side of the box here. We have the Mega Pyroar, our lovely fiery lion. On the right side, we have the lovely Mega Floette. And on the top, we have the Mega Greninja, who is surfing in from above. Very fun. Earlier today, I was actually at Barnes & Noble, and they actually had some singles in stock, so of course I had to grab a couple just for fun, and I managed to pull 2 of the cards I was actually really hoping for this set. The beautiful and morose little art. Oh, it's just such a pretty card. I love it so much. She just looks so joyful as she frolics in this beautiful field of wildflowers. There's all these little petals floating around and a very slight glow on her tail. It's beautiful. And we got the adorable Froggy-ful art. I love this one as well. He is seen here under a wave and looking a little bit timid and shy, but that is okay because so am I. It's just such a beautiful way that they did the kind of like water reflection and ripples, and it has like a very subtle hint to the hollow pattern, but if you look at it in just the right light, it really shimmers so beautifully. So of course I get these 2 hits when I am not filming. So let's jump right in. Let's kick off the evening with this Mega Greninja pack. Here's your first of many QR codes for the evening. And do our energy trick to the front. And to kick off the night, we have a fighting energy. Fighting. We have a lovely Slugoo to start us off. She looks like she's just really enjoying this nice little rain shower that is drizzling Next up is a perky little Chespin, who is having a lovely afternoon frolicking in the jungle. It looks like he's tossing some sort of like fruit or puffin. And there's a bunch of beautiful little orange and purple flowers all around him. Very fun. We have my favorite electric sheep, Marip. The Marip looks a little bit shocked actually, as he looks off with a wide-eyed expression in the distance. There's a lovely breeze in the background, and some leaves are just floating around him in the field. We have a beautiful fiery Fennekin. This Fennekin is seen prowling her way on a windowsill, overlooking, looks like a giant field or maybe the forest. You can just see the very tips of the trees over there. We have a very festive Delibird. I still love how the illustrator put these like little like poofy symbols behind him as he kind of floats down, as if he's leaving a tiny trail of sparkly snowflakes. Very fun. We have our first supporter card of the evening, featuring a Felipe. He is good for metal decks because he allows you to attach up to 2 basic metal energy cards from your discard pile to one of your metal Pokémon in play. I haven't gotten around to trying it out yet, but I do want to rebuild the Stevens Metagross deck with some of the new supporters and Mega Pokémon to see how it plays now. We have a very intimidating looking Golisopod, who is standing amongst a giant wave in the ocean with his claws out. We have a grumpy little Scrump. The Scrump is seen here floating through a little coral reef under the ocean. There's some lovely red corals and some big seaweeds floating off behind him. For our next reverse hollow, we have the Kakuna. Who really looks like he is just staring you down. I wonder if he's having a harden battle competition. And for our first rare of the night, we have the lovely Mega Glade. This is the alternate evolution of Corellia, and it's the fighting version. Gardevoir is the psychic version. I actually pulled one of these in one of my build and battle pre-release nights, but alas, I could not use it in the deck because they do not have any Ralts or Corellia in this particular set, which I thought was an interesting choice. But the Mega Glade features 2 attacks, Gale Slash showing the sleeving of every single card because it will double the time of the video. But that's okay. Well, that was a great way to start the night. Let's continue onwards with this second pack featuring the Mega Pyroar. Here is your next QR code of the evening. Our energy trick. And we begin this pack with an electrifying lightning energy. Zip, zip, zap. This pack begins with another lovely Kakuna. Almost incapable of moving, this Pokemon can only harden its shell to protect itself when it is in danger. We have one of my favorite cards, design-wise, in the set, the adorable Fambi. I just love the way the illustrator designed this card because it has just such a calming and peaceful feel with the way they used the bright golden light reflecting in the little puddle that the Fambi is relaxing in. So cute. Next up, we have the adorable Fluffy, who is taking a nice afternoon break in the grass and is just daydreaming as he ponders the clouds above him. He looks so fluffy and soft. Following the Fluffy, we have another one of my personal favorites, the adorable Vulpix, who I still believe is very underrated from the original 150. He is seen here doing a nice little kick up of some fall foliage behind him, and it just looks so joyful in this little forest. We have one of 4 variations of Deoxys up next. This one looks like the speed version as he whooshes his way almost like a bullet around him. That's very cool actually how they design that energy. It's very interesting because they have 4 different Deoxys in this set that all feature different attacks. And I really want to try out a deck that features all of them. It could be a very cool singles deck. We have a new stadium, the Angefloet. You can see here the Lumiose Tower in the background being overwhelmed by all the Floet energy. This stadium is specific to the Mega Floet card because you can only play it if you discard a Prism Tower that is already in play, and each Mega Floet EX in play gets an additional 150 damage, or HP, not damage. Apologies. reverse holo of this pack, we have the Ferrothorn. The art is actually very interesting on this card. It's a little bit hard actually to make out on camera, I think, because it's so dark. But like the whole right side is like very shadowed and mossy feeling, and he looks like he's kind of being a little suspicious as he slowly wanders around the tree trunk with this kind of like brightly illuminated tree forest behind him. Cool. For our next reverse holo, we have another variation of Deoxys. This one featuring the Psy Spear attack. This one is definitely looking a lot more aggressive than the other Deoxys, and I love how they have his arm outstretched, almost as if it's going past the frame of the card and reaching out towards us. And for our rare of this pack, we have one of the new special energies. This one is the bubbly energy. The bubbly energy is specific to water type Pokemon, and if you attach it to a water Pokemon, then they recover from all special conditions and cannot be affected by any additional special conditions, which is pretty handy. I've definitely thrown it into a couple of my decks, but I haven't really had the opportunity to utilize it yet. Alright. Let's move onwards to pack number 1, 2, 3. Pack number 3. Here's another QR code for you. Our energy trick to the front, and we begin with a psychic energy for this pack. Purple psychic energy. First up is the lovely Quillfish. And I love how the illustrator kind of gave his energy around him a very spiky feel. Really adds to his ability, the poison point. This card was actually essential in the build and battle, and I do think will be used in a lot of poison decks because of that ability, which makes it so every time he is directly attacked, it poisons the attacker. We have an adorable Litleo up next. Our cute little lion cub who is seen here just holding on tight to this little branch on the tree as if he is a little uncertain about how he is going to climb his way down. We have a lovely ball toy up next. Who is spinning his way through the forest. We have another Froakie. I just love how he seems like he's just really in a hurry as he leaps across the lily pads straight towards us. I can't tell if he is running away from something their opponent would force you to discard from your deck. We have the third variation of Deoxys up next. This one is a little bit farther away, so you can really see its whole body. I love how its arms are like the double helix of DNA. It's very cool. We have a new item card that is the Transformation Dome. The way this card works is you have to play 2 of them at a time for it to work. And if you do, you can choose a basic Pokemon that is in your discard pile and switch it with one of your basic Pokemon that is already in play. Which I think could be very interesting, but will be quite difficult to get 2 of them into your hand at the same time, especially without cards like Arvin. I think like Team Rocket's Petrol is the only supporter that could let you do it right now, and there are cards like the Sudowoodo that also let you draw them, but I don't know. Have you guys played around with that yet? Oh, nice. We have another new item card that is going to be seeing a lot of play, I think. The special red card in reverse holo. This card kind of looks like a reverse Uno card to me, and is extremely important right now in the meta because it is one of the few hand disruption cards. The way it works is if your opponent has 3 or fewer prize cards remaining, then you can force them to shuffle their whole hand back to the bottom of their deck and then draw an additional 3 cards. So that can be very damaging at endgame if used at the right moment. Oh, fun! Oh, this one's really fun. We got the SIR, I believe, actually, of Roxy's Performance. Ooh. Oh, this is such a cool card, guys. She is just rocking out, and I love all these little details of all, like, there's a neon sign wheezing back there, and, or maybe a coughing, actually, and just, like, this really cool kind of comic booky style, and she looks fabulous with her giant combat boots and purple electric guitar. Oh, I feel like she'd be very fun to cosplay. I was definitely an emo kid when I was younger, and I still shop at Hot Topic today because they actually have a lot of fun stuff, including Pokemon cards. Oh, I'm so excited about this one, you guys. She's so fun. And for our final card of this pack, we have the beautiful Delphox. Our fiery fox. It's interesting because, like, with the holo of this, the background really just gets very darkened and muted. I think if I come across the reverse holo version of it, you can really make out the details a lot more. The Delphox is a fun deck to play, though, because of her flaring magic ability that lets you, once per turn, discard a fire energy from your hand to draw up to 7 cards. And it is very, very useful to be able to just do that at will. Leave up our Delphox. Definitely get this chick sleeved up. say it definitely feels like the hits are a lot more prevalent in this set because it is a very small set. There are only 122 cards in total, including all the secret rares. So I feel like it will be a nice and easy one to try and master set, especially with the availability of booster boxes and such like this, where you get so many packs at once. Alright, we begin with a basic metal energy. First up, we have another spinning ball toy. It moves while spinning around on its single foot. Some ball toy have been seen spinning on their heads. Next up, we have the metallic Matang, who is the evolved form of the Beldum. I actually love the design of this card because he is just kind of hovering his way over the rooftops in Lumio City. I think that's actually the Quasarico building in the background there, if I'm not mistaken, and pronouncing that correctly. There's just a beautiful kind of purple-pink sunset hue in the back, and some lovely mountains behind. It's very fun. We have an adorable Emolga up next. One of the very few electric Pokemon in this set. The Emolga actually has a very cool attack. Two cool attacks actually. The first lets you search your deck for up to 2 basic energy cards to add to your hand. And the second one is called Sky Return, which does 30 damage and lets you put the Emolga and all attached cards back into your hand. So she is very good early game to help you really pull your energies quickly and set up. And then you can just pull her off the bench so she's not taking up space. We have a very cute looking Bergmite up next. I love how he looks a little bit uncertain about wandering around the shopping center at night. It's very cute. It looks so tiny compared to his evolved form. Next up is the evolved form of the Boltali. It's Claydol, who is flying or kind of hovering more through a mountainous field and firing off a devolution ray. I love that. Like, it just looks like he's so casually launching his ray gun, or ray arm, I guess. We have another supporter card, AZ's Tranquility. This is a card that works well if you are playing any EX Pokemon in your deck, because it lets you switch your active Pokemon with one of your benched Pokemon, and if your active was an EX and got moved to the bench in this way, you get to heal 80 damage from it. It's a switch with benefits. We have another lovely Ferrothorn. This Pokemon scrapes its spikes across rocks and then uses the tips of its feelers, here you can see them, to absorb the nutrients it finds within the stone. Oh, nice. For our first reverse hollow, we have the lovely Ho-Oh. Ho-Oh is cool because it has the flames of revival special energy. We have the magnetic energy. I actually don't think I've pulled any of these yet. The magnetic energy, if attached to a metal Pokemon, it makes it so they have no retreat cost. That's pretty handy. And for our rare card of the pack, we have the Xerneas. I love the background design actually in this card. It has like a lot of energy behind it because it almost looks like he's like swooshed into frame super fast. The way the like vortex is kind of leading your eye off into the distance. The Xerneas has a Geostorm attack that does 30 damage for each psychic energy attached to all of your Pokemon. Ooh, that's fun. We got 3 rare cards in a row. That's kind of cool. Well, looks like we have 2 Mega Fluid packs to choose from. I think we'll go with this one on the right. I love my Mega Fluid plushie that I got over there. Although when I ordered it, I did not realize how tall it was. So she kind of overshadows a lot of my other plushies, unfortunately. And I dropped my scissors down there. Difficulty opening that pack for some reason. Here's your next QR code. Our energy to the front. And we begin this pack with a red hot fire energy. And to go with that fire energy, we have the lovely Vulpix. The Vulpix features one attack, Singe, that will burn your opponent. And actually, I think when I was doing the build and battles, that was the first time I've ever actually used the burn marker. Following the Vulpix, we have a cute little Weedle, who's kind of wandering through the city at night with a lovely prism tower lit up behind him. We have another cute Slugoo. I love that day's attack is called Gentle Slap. Slap, slap, slap. Gently. We have another spiky Quillfish. Experienced fishers say that they try to catch Quillfish in the brief moment that these Pokemon become defenseless just after launching poisonous spikes. Interesting. I feel like we've been getting a lot of Ferrothorns this evening. I think this might be our 4th already, and we're not even a 4th of the way through the packs. The Ferrothorn features a special whip attack that does 70 damage and an additional 70 if he happens to have a special energy attached to him. Be a good use of that special metal energy. We have another Felipe supporter card to go with that Ferrothorn. And we have an adorable Meowstic. first reverse hollow of the pack, we have a Frogadier. He is the evolved form of the Froakie and is looking much more suave and confident in himself as he stretches out in front of a lovely river. For our next reverse hollow, we have the Garbodor, who is the evolved form of Trubbish, which I don't think we've actually come across yet. The Garbodor is seen here rampaging through what looks like almost like a farmhouse area. There's a bunch of very beige looking grass as if it has not rained in a very long time. Oh, we have another Mega. Nice, we got the Mega Dracology EX. Very fun. I actually was lucky enough when the night I was playing the Crobat deck, I actually pulled one Skrelp and one Mega Dracology, and it won me 2 out of my 3 games. This guy has some very cool attacks. The corrosive liquid is slightly less useful, but it forces your opponent to discard all Pokemon tools and special energy from all of their Pokemon. Oh, I didn't actually realize it was all of them. That's actually kind of cool. And if you have a water and a dark energy attached to him, then he can use his Precurnius Poison attack that poisons your opponent's Pokemon, but during the checkup phase, you get to place 16 damage counters on them instead of the usual 1. So it's basically doing 160 damage each checkup phase unless they decide to retreat that Pokemon. Very cool. I haven't played around with too many poison decks, but I think this guy could be a fun way to start. Right, let's take a peek at this other Mega Floet pack that was on the left side. If you have made it this far into the video and have not fallen asleep yet, don't forget to leave a like or a comment if you've been enjoying my openings. It greatly helps the algorithm, and I always love to hear from you guys. It's so much fun getting to know all of you and hearing about your experiences. There's another QR code for you. Our energy to the front, and we begin this pack with a green grass energy. Grass. We have another lovely Metang. It is formed by 2 Beldum joining together. Its steel body won't be scratched if it collides with a jet. That's very specific. I also feel like there's not that many jets and like airplanes in the Pokemon world, as far as I remember. We have another cute little Weedle wandering his way at night. He features an attack called Surprise Attack that can do 30 damage, but you are required to flip a coin to use it, and if you get tails, then it does nothing. We have a mighty Golbat up next, swooping in from the night sky above. I love the little like path through the castle that's in the background there. It also looks like it's kind of like overlooking the city. It's very cool. We have another adorable Bergmite. Pseudo-Widow of the Night. Pseudo-Wood. I just love how the trees behind him are in the same kind of outstretched position that he is, as he's like trying very hard to blend in with them. It's so cute. Next up, we have a stinky skunk tank. Skunk tank. Our skunk Pokemon, who is very rudely shooting off probably some very stinky gas towards us. And we have the fourth variation of the Deoxys up next. This one is the kind of more defense version. As you can see here, he is crossing his arms in a quick kind of shield protection attack. For our first reverse holo, we have the adorable Esper. I've always just loved their expression. I know I've mentioned this before, but she just always looks like there's so much going on in her head, and she does not want to say it out loud. Such a fun expression. There's the reverse holo of the Delphox that I mentioned before. As you can see, it's a lot easier to make out kind of the night sky behind her. It's very cool. The Delphox actually features a really cool attack as well, called Energized Storm, which does 30 damage for each energy attached to all Pokemon in play. So she is very interesting to play against because you have to be extremely careful about how many energies you are attaching to your Pokemon. Because the more you do, the more they power up. And for our rare card of this pack, we have a Chestnut. He is seen here almost like on guard, and looks like we caught him mid-battle. And there's another Pokemon off to the distance over here that he is in an intense fight with. Chestnut. It looks like we now have two Greninjas to pick from. I believe I chose from the left last time, so let's pick this one on the right. Alright, here's another QR code just for you. To start off this pack, we have a Dark Energy. We have a cute little Remoraid up first. I actually really love the kind of color palette that the illustrator used for this one. It has like a very almost like bohemian feel to it, with the very desaturated sage colors and coral reds. It's very pretty. We have another Sliggoo. I feel like we've gotten a bunch of Sliggoos, but no Goomies. Where are the little Sluggy friends? Its four horns are a high-performance radar system. It uses them to sense sound and smells, rather than using ears or nose. That's kind of fun. I love learning all the little Pokedex descriptions. Fun little tidbits. We have another lovely quillfish. The quillfish also feature a Venoshock attack that does 30 damage, but if your opponent's active Pokemon is poisoned, then it does an additional 50, which is really solid for a basic Pokemon for 1 dark energy. We have another Ferrothorn. We have the Deoxys that features 2 attacks, Genome Charge and Psychic. The Genome Charge lets you search your deck for up to 2 basic Psychic energy cards and attach them to him. Then, the next turn, he can use his Psychic attack for 80 damage plus an additional 20 for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. Oh, that's fun. We have another Transformation Dome item. Oh, nice. For our first reverse holo, we have a new item card for water decks. It is the Great Hall Net. This is a really fun card because you get to choose one or both of the following. You can shuffle up to 3 water Pokemon from your discard pile back into your deck, and or you can shuffle up to 3 basic water energies from your discard pile back into your deck. And I'm very happy about this because one of my favorite decks to play is the Misty's Gyarados deck, and with the loss of Miriam and I think Super Rod might be out too, there wasn't as many ways for me to shuffle my Pokemon back in, so this is very essential to that. For our next reverse holo, we have another Agniflohet. And oh, fun! We finally got something other than a Slugoo. We have the Goodra, who is looking very surprised that you came across her in the forest, and as if like she's not gigantic and really sticks out. I love that. This was one of the 4 various decks that you could get for pre-release, and she features a slimy sliding ability, which makes it that if your opponent tries to retreat, they have to flip a coin, and if it's tails, it blocks them from retreating. She also features a Dragon Pulse attack for 160 damage, and it discards the top of your own deck. So you have to be careful when you use it. If you watched my latest TCG live video, I did a test of this deck in the Build and Battle, the new Build and Battle format they added to live. It was fun. Alright, let's move on to, I want to say we're on pack number 7 now. And see who's hiding inside this other Mega Greninja pack. soft. We have a little Leo. They set off on their own from their pride and live by themselves to become stronger. These hot-blooded Pokemon are quick to fight. We have another mighty Golbat. This Golbat features a covert flight attack for 30 damage and prevents all damage done to the Golbat the next turn from any basic Pokemon, which is pretty fun. We have another lovely Esper up next. It keeps its intense psychic power from leaking out by using its ears to cover the organs emitting that power. That's why he always has such a silly face or expression on his face. We have a Ninetales up next. This Ninetales was a lot of fun actually to play with because of his nine-tailed transfer attack. The way it works is it allows you to move all damage counters from one of your benched Pokemon to your opponent's active Pokemon. So what you would do is you would send out your stronger Pokemon, let them take a big hit, retreat them or switch them with the Ninetales, and then get to take all that damage and send it back to the attacker, while also simultaneously healing your Pokemon. We have a new stadium card, the Prism Tower. This is kind of an interesting card because it makes it so once during each player's turn, they can choose to discard 2 cards from their hand in order to draw a new card. It does seem like a steep price though for a draw. Ooh. We have our first Metagross of the evening. Is it Metagross or Metagross? It's spelled like gross, so I guess it's probably Metagross. I love the beautiful, like kind of snowy landscape he's in, and you can really see a bright neon green aurora borealis in the background. It's a very lovely environment. For our first reverse holo, we have a Stuntank. This Stuntank features 2 attacks: Rear Kick for 40 damage and Smash Turn, which does 100 damage, and you get to switch him out with a Pokemon on your bench. Oh, fun. For our next reverse holo, we have the lovely Petrat. This was an extremely useful Pokemon in play because of his Watchful Eye ability. That makes it so damage counters on each Pokemon cannot be moved to other Pokemon. And that was like the one downside to playing the fire deck, is he completely negated the Ninetales ability of that attack if you had him on the bench. And what did we get? We have another EX card. I have not pulled this one yet, yay. It is the lovely Chinchino EX. Oh, she looks so boxes seem to be pretty evenly distributed. With the perfect order one, it looked like we had gotten kind of like 4 of each type of rarity, which was pretty nice. It's more of whether you get the special illustration or goldens is definitely up the chance, but you're usually guaranteed to get a decent amount of Mega and EX Pokemon, as well as at least 3 or 4 full arts. I'm hoping today will continue that trend. Here's your next QR code of the night. Energy to the front. And we begin this pack with another red hot fire energy. First up is another adorable Esper. She features an attack called the Buddy Attack that at base does 10 damage, but if you happen to play the Emma supporter card, which we actually have not come across yet, during that turn, then she does an additional 60 damage for a total of 70, which is not shabby for a basic Pokemon. Following the Esper, we have a Minccino. These Pokemon like things neat and tidy. They are always sweeping and dusting their habitat, using their tails as brooms. We have another lovely Chespin up next. The Chespin features 2 attacks, Beat for 10 damage and Spike Sting for 30. Pretty simplistic for attacks. Oh, I don't think we've actually pulled any Stunkies yet so far. We have an adorable Stunky who is taking a nice afternoon nap in front of a lovely little bush in the fields. She looks very cozy, as I hope you are now too. We have another Prism Tower Stadium card. And another Meowstic, which is the evolved form of the Esper that we just found. The Meowstic actually features a really handy attack called Tricky Steps that does 80 damage and lets you move an energy from your opponent's active Pokemon to one of their benched Pokemon, which can definitely turn the tide of battle if you're in endgame and they are running low on energies to use. We have another lovely Great Hall Net item card. For our first reverse holo of this pack, we have a Claydol. The Claydol features a cool move called Devolution Ray that does 50 damage, and if your opponent's active Pokemon is an evolved Pokemon, then you get to devolve it by putting the highest stage evolution card on it into your opponent's hand. For our next reverse holo, we have another lovely Quillfish. He was actually useful even in decks that were not dark-based decks, just to stall your opponent and be able to build up your team, because it makes your opponent question whether you should attack it because of his poison point ability. And for our rare card of this pack, we have another lovely Ho-Oh. A legend says that its body glows Ash looks up to the sky and sees a Ho-Oh flying off with a rainbow behind it. And what was so cool about that is Ho-Oh hadn't actually been introduced into the games at that point. So it was like our first glimpse at a new Pokemon without even really fully realizing it. It's definitely fun experiencing as a kid. Alright. Our backs are starting to fall forwards a little bit, unfortunately. But that's okay. Last time I had my little Meowth plushie on top, and he kept falling off as I pulled more packs out, and it got thinner and thinner. Alright, there's your next QR code of the night. Energy to the front, and we begin with a metal energy. First up, we have another cute little remoraid swimming at the bottom of the ocean. The water they shoot from their mouths can hit moving prey for more than 300 feet away. That's pretty impressive. We have another lovely Emolga, the sky squirrel Pokemon. And another Baltoy. You'll definitely start to notice a lot of repeats from this point on. So I'll probably be doing the same thing as I did last video, where once I've basically run out of things to say about each card, I will kind of do more of a fast opening with some nice little rambles over it. But until then, we have some fun descriptions. This Baltoy features a continuous spin attack that does 30 damage for, you flip a coin until you get tails, and it does 30 damage for each heads. That's pretty fun. We have another lovely Pat Rat. Using food stored in cheek pouches, they can keep watch for days. They use their tails to communicate with others. Next up is Claydol. This mysterious Pokemon started life as an ancient clay figure made over 20,000 years ago. Oh, that's kind of cool. It'd be fun to, I don't know if they've ever done it, but do one of the anime seen here stampeding his way through some, like a little mountain path, it looks like. And he looks very upset at whatever he is charging towards. You do not want to get in his way. We have another transformation dome. Oh, nice. And for our first reverse hollow, we have another Gumi. The Gumi features an absorb attack that does 30 damage and also heals 30 damage from the Gumi. However, it does take a water and a psychic energy to use, so it is a little bit difficult to set up early on. For our next reverse hollow, we have another AZ's Tranquility. His special illustration rare is actually gorgeous, and that'd be a fun one to find tonight. And oh, nice! We have an ultra rare of energy retrieval. Oh, that's fun. It's actually a card that I use in one of my decks. I love how it's like a giant claw machine that's just catching the energies. It's very cool. The energy retrieval is an item card that lets you put up to 2 basic energy cards from your discard pile back into your hand, which is super useful because then you can use it right away. Whereas there are a lot of other cards that will like shuffle them back into your deck, but you have to still find them again. That's fun. I feel like we've been getting all the utility full arts, but no Pokemon yet. Let's see what was behind door number 2 in this pack featuring Mega Pyroar. I feel like it would be difficult for him to run under small ceilings because his mane would keep catching them on fire. There's your 12th QR code of the evening. And this pack features a water energy. First up is another adorable Leo. They set off on their own from their pride and live by themselves to become stronger. These hot-blooded Pokemon are quick to fight. We have another cute little spinning vault toy. Next up is another Froakie, leaping his way towards us. It protects its skin by covering its body in delicate bubbles. Beneath its happy-go-lucky air, it keeps a watchful eye on its surroundings. Which, if you watch the ETP video that I put out the other week, the coin is actually featuring the Froakie, and I just love the little like bubble texture that they did on it. It's so cute. We have another metallic Metang. The Metang features 2 attacks, Metal Claw for 30 damage and Guard Press for 70. The Guard Press also reads, during your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon takes 30 less damage from attacks. Next up stench dulls after a few squirts. We have the Defense Deoxys that features a psi protection attack. It does 80 damage, and during your opponent's next turn, it prevents all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from Pokemon that have an ability. So there is a little bit of fine print there. Always read the fine print. For our first reverse holo, we have another Sudowoodo. The Sudowoodo also features a rock hurl attack for 30 damage. And for our next reverse holo, we have another Matang. For our rare of this pack, we have another legendary Firebird. Alright, it looks like we have another 2 Floette packs to choose from. Let's try this one on the left. Little intermediate crinkle break. Here's your next QR code of the night. Energy Drink to the front. And we start off with a basic metal energy. I really hope they don't change the energy trick to more than one at some point. It's just so nice being able to just do one and know that it's always there. First up, we have another Gumi. Now we're getting all the Gumis. Thanks to their slimy membrane covering its body, punches or kicks from its enemies slide right off of it. We have another Frogadier. The Frogadier features an attack called Summoning Jutsu. And it lets you search your deck for up to 3 Pokemon, reveal them, and add them to your hand. That's actually really cool because it does not specify that it has to be like a specific basic type or anything Pokemon, so that could be very handy. We have another pet rat out on patrol. Pet rat. And we have our second, I believe, Scrump of the evening. Camouflaged as rotten kelp, this Pokemon sprays liquid poison to take down prey that approach unaware. We have another Deoxys. This Deoxys is the attack version, and it features a Psi Spear attack that has a base damage of 120, but if this Pokemon has at least 2 extra energy attached to it, then it does 120 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. That's pretty cool. We have another mighty Golisopod. It will do anything to win. your Pokemon in play that has Tauros in the name. The attack does 50 damage to the chosen Pokemon for each heads. That's pretty cool. I wonder if it means we could also use it with any other variation of Tauros. There's like a bunch of them throughout previous sets. That'd be cool. So it would get around the limit of only 4 Pokemon at a time. For our first reverse holo, we have a Felipe supporter card. Oh, fun! We got the full art Crobat. Very nice. This one's a really cool one. Has such like a fun like Batman vibe to it. Love it. You can see the Crobat here is looking very confident as he swooshes through the skyscrapers in the city. I love this. I love the coloration that they used for it as well. It has a very like kind of punk rock feel to it. And actually I think this might be our first Crobat of the night too. The Crobat features a really cool ability called Nighttime Maneuvers, which lets you, once per turn, if he is in the active spot, you get to search your deck for any card you want, and then you shuffle your deck and put that card on top. So you always know what will be coming up next and can maneuver the game how you want. Very cool. And for our rare, we have another new one, the Trevenant. Trevenant is the evolved form of the adorable Fentump, which I actually don't think we've gotten any of the night. That's crazy. The Trevenant is seen here kind of like prowling through a kind of spooky looking forest. Looks like it might be winter time because none of the trees have any leaves or foliage. Very cool. Get these guys nice and sleeved. I'm so happy that we got a Pokemon full art. Sorry that we were gonna have a booster box full of just supporters and items. Very fun. Alright. Let's see if our other Mega Floette pack is hiding another good friend as well. I think it was the extra crinkle break that summoned him. It's been a while since we've gotten any EX cards, so I get the feeling we'll be coming across enormous frame crushes anything that stands in its way. We have another cute pseudo-widow dancing through the forest. To avoid being attacked, it does nothing but mimic a tree. It hates water and flees from the rain. Guess that makes sense, because technically in the game he's a rock type, not really fighting. Next up is another festive Delibird. The Delibird features a really cool attack, actually called Pleasing Present, that you can go either way, whether it works for you or not, but if you use it, then both players get the opportunity to attach up to 3 basic energy cards from their hand to their Pokemon in any way that they like. So it can definitely speed up energy attachment. We have our first Wimpod of the night. It has a reverse hollow. I just really love the art on this card. The illustrator is called 0313. Interesting choice for their name. I wonder if there's like some meaning behind that. The water is so crystal clear that you can see all the beautiful coral underneath him. It's beautiful. For our next reverse hollow, we have the high-speed version of Deoxys. This Pokemon features this high-speed attack that does 30 damage, and you get to draw cards until you have 5 in your hand. That's always handy. No pun intended. Oh, there's that EX card that I was just mentioning. Next up, we have a Cobalion EX. Very fun. He features an ability called Metal Road that reads, once during your turn, when this Pokemon moves from your bench into the active spot, you can move any amount of metal energy from your other Pokemon to the Cobalion. That's really cool, especially because his attack, Power Tackle, takes 3 energy and does 200 damage, which is pretty solid, but he cannot use it again the next turn, unfortunately. Still very cool. Nice and sleeved up. Can go hang out with the other EX Pokemon over there. Okay, we have another choice between some Greninjas. Let's start with this one on the right. Door number 2. We have a very uncentered live code here. That's pretty funny. But I'd rather the bad centering be on that instead of the cards in the back. Alright. First up, we have a green grass energy. Grass. And to go with that grass energy, we have another adorable Weedle. I feel like we've been attracting all of the Golbats this evening. I actually don't think we've gotten any Zubats though, which is surprising. we have, I believe, our first watchhog of the night. The watchhog is the evolved form of the pet rat that we found a couple of so far. He is seen here being on lookout in the field and is taking his job very seriously. For our next reversalo, we have the Crobat. In addition to its ability, the Crobat features an attack called Poison Sound Wave that only takes 1 dark energy and does 80 damage. Plus, it causes your opponent's Pokemon to become confused and poisoned. Pretty handy. And for our rare of this pack, we have a magnetic energy. Another special energy card. I actually enjoy that they've been adding these to the set recently. It definitely adds a little bit of fun strategy behind some of the decks. Okay. I feel like we're starting to get close to that point where most of the cards are repetitive. Or repeated. That is how you pronounce that. I swear I can talk. But let's see what we have. Phoenix QR code, energy direct, and this pack begins with a purple psychic energy. Oh, nice. To go with that psychic energy, we have our first Phantom of the night, only halfway through all the packs. He is seen here, floating through one of the battle zones, it looks like, at night. The Phantom features an ability called Spiteful Evolution, which reads, once during your turn, you can choose a card in your hand that evolves from this Pokemon and put it onto it to evolve it. But if you do, you have to place 2 damage counters on the Pokemon you evolved in that way. You cannot use it on your first turn, however, which is the very first turn of the game, not the first turn you play him. Next up is another adorable Froakie, or Bubble Frog. The Froakie actually features a nice attack called Collect that takes any energy, and lets you draw a card, which is always handy at the start of the game. We have our relaxing Stunky in the fields. The foul fluid from its rear is so revolting that it can make people feel queasy up to 1.25 miles away. Oh no! That is a fantastic description. We have another Quilladin leaping down from above. does 60 damage and an additional 10 more for each damage counter on all of your opponent's Pokemon. Very cool. That'd be kind of a fun one to play around with, deck-wise. And to go with that Trevenant, we have a reverse holo of a Phantom. That's funny. I love that his attack is just called Mumble. Mumble, 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 mumble. For 10 damage. And we have another magnetic energy. I feel like we've been getting a lot of this one, but in the water version, we have not gotten the fire card yet. Alright, it is now a choice between the Mega Dragalges. I think we did the left last time, so let's pick one on the right. See if anyone fun is hiding inside. Alright. Your next QR code of the night. Our energy trick to the front. And we have another electrifying lightning energy. A cute little Esper. And another Mareep. This Mareep features a classic Thunder Wave attack that does 20 damage, and you get to flip a coin. If it is heads, then your opponent's active Pokemon becomes paralyzed. Very nice. Next up is another adorable Minccino picking flowers in the field. The Minccino has a takedown attack that does 30 damage, but unfortunately also does 10 damage to itself. Poor Minccino. Next up is our Sleepy Skunk, the Stunky. The Stunky features a scratch attack. Scratch attack for 20 damage. We have the full psychic attack version of Deoxys. And our first regular version of the Emma card, where she is seen here standing outside in front of one of the obstacle courses that were throughout the game. I've always been terrible at any type of game where it requires kind of visual coordination like that, though. I always just seem to jump at the wrong time. We have another giant Garbodor, the trash heap Pokemon. He actually has an ability called Gloomy Garbage, where attacks used by your opponent's active Pokemon that has a Pokemon tool attached to them do 20 less damage. I feel like it's not that often, though, that people actually have the tools. Definitely a lot of decks do use them, but I don't know if it's consistent enough to warrant using a Garbodor. For our first reverse holo, we have our first, I believe, Beldum of the night. This Beldum is seen here, dangling itself underneath a cliffside, and there's just a nice drizzle going on off to the left of him. It's a nice rainy afternoon. For our next reverse holo, we have another Tauros. They fight each other by locking horns. managed to get the packs to kind of lean back a little bit more. So let's continue the evening with another Mega Pyroar pack. Code for you, and energy for me. And we begin this pack with another flaming hot fire energy. Fire. A Minchino. Our cute little playful Chespin. Stumpy. Gumi. Gumi, gumi, gumi. Deoxys. A Calissapod. The Calissapod actually features 2 attacks, critical slash and boundless power. Critical slash only costs 1 water energy and does 30 damage. Plus, if your opponent is knocked out by the damage from the attack, then it prevents all damage from effects and attacks done to the Calissapod the next turn, which is pretty cool. I feel like it's a little That's so sad. I feel like some of the Pokédex descriptions are very dark for a kid's game. We have another fiery Braixen up next. Braixen. The Braixen actually pairs very well with that Nitro energy that we just found, because its flamethrower attack requires you to discard one energy attached to it to use it. So if it was the Nitro energy, you can kind of just keep reattaching it to him and using the attack. We have a fluffy Marip. Its fluffy coat doubles in size when static electricity builds up. Catching it can be shocking. Another Garbodor. I don't think we've gotten any rubbish tonight. That's also very surprising. Consuming garbage makes new kinds of poison gases and liquids inside their body. We have a perky little Delibird. It carries food rolled up in its tail. It has a habit of sharing food with people lost in the mountains. That's very kind of it. We have a Roxy's Performance Support and a Reverse Hollow Remoraid. The water they shoot from their mouths can hit moving prey from more than 300 feet away. A Reverse Hollow Marip. And oh, we have a Mega, looks like, oh nice, we got a Mega Greninja EX. Very fun. This card has a cool ability called Mortal Shuriken. Once during your turn, if he is in the active spot, it lets you discard a water energy from your hand to place 6 damage counters onto one of your opponent's Pokemon. He also features a Ninja Spinner attack. You can see over there. That does 120 damage, and you can put a water energy that is attached to him back into your hand to do an additional 80. Very fun. Let's get him nice and sleeved up to join his buddies. Alright. Moving back to the right side for another Megapluent pack. I feel like we are basically at the point now where I can just kind of start rambling while we go through these, because I feel like we've seen most of the cards at this point on. Here's your next QR code. And you have a dark energy to start. A Fennekin. The Fennekin actually has a very useful attack, Call for Family, which lets you search your deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon to add to your bench. Quilladin. Frogadier. Its swiftness is unparalleled. It can scale a tower of more than 2,000 feet in a minute's time. actually got a really cool promo stamp of him as well from Barnes & Noble today when I picked up my couple packs. The Keldeo features 2 attacks: Shoot Through for 20 damage, that also does 20 damage to a benched Pokemon, and Reflect Energy for 70, and it lets you move an energy from the Keldeo to one of your benched Pokemon. Interesting. I guess if you plan to retreat him the next turn, you could Reflect Energy and then pull back. Be an interesting strategy. I actually didn't know that Barnes & Noble did the special promo cards. I've gotten them before at GameStop, and I want to say Hot Topic I actually got one from before. It's always a nice little surprise. One, when you actually find packs in the wild, but also when you get the little extra promo card with it. There's your next QR code. And we have a Grass Energy. I think this might be our first Donphan of the night, actually. We have the Donphan, who is the evolved form of the Fempi, the adorable little elephant we saw earlier. Donphan is normally a calm Pokemon, but once it is enraged, it will curl its body into a ball and charge at you while rolling. We have another lovely Braixen. Is it Braxian or Braixen? I think it's actually Braixen. I think I've been mispronouncing it. Whoops. It keeps a twig in its tail. Using friction from its tail, it sets the twig on fire and launches into battle. We have another Skrelp. And another cute little Wimpod. It's nature's cleaner. It eats anything and everything, including garbage and rotten things. The ground near its nest is always clean. I feel like we could use some of him in our oceans to help clean up all the trash in the oceans. We have a Delibird. Yay! Our third, I believe, special red card of the night. Our feisty little clay doll firing off his laser ray. Oh, we have our first Pumpkaboo. So cute. The illustrator on this is Jerky, and I feel like I like a lot of his cards. I love how her eyes are glowing with these kind of beams of light shining through. That's super cool. And a Golbat reverse hollow. And another Cernius. Take another pack from the right side. Some more tappies for you. If you are still awake, leave a water emoji in the comments for our Greninja buddy. Or a bubble. I think a bubble's probably better. Next QR code. And this pack begins with a metal energy. many super high-priced cards in this set. So the scalpers hopefully will not care about trying to buy out all of this one. We have our second Donphan of the night. Donphan features 2 attacks, no reprieve for 20 damage, and during your next turn, attacks used by this Pokemon do 120 more damage. Oh, that's fun. He also has a smashing headbutt for 180 damage, but you have to discard 2 of his energies to use it. There's that Trubbish that we were looking for. Yay! He's so cute for a little trash bag. He's seen here just like happily wandering and minding his own business at night. Looks like he just exited the shopping center in Lumiose, and there's a Pokemon Center in the background there too, which I love. Almost looks like he's singing. Very cute. We have another lovely Fennekin. I actually picked up a plushie of the Fennekin to use for this set, but it was kind of bigger and brighter than I intended. You can see him, he's gigantic compared to all the other Pokemon, so I just haven't been able to figure out a good way to get him in the background. But I do love him, he's very cool. We have another Deoxys. An Avalugg. Its ice-covered body is as hard as steel. Its enormous frame crushes anything that stands in its way. Easy's Tranquility. Reverse Hollow Metagross. Oh, Reverse Hollow Kudra. Fun. This very friendly dragon Pokemon will hug its beloved trainer, leaving that trainer covered in sticky slime. That is adorable. And we have another Keldeo. Keldeo has strengthened its resolve for battle, filling its body with power and changing it does 290 damage, but you'll notice this little minus right there. So the attack does 10 less damage for each damage counter that is on the Mega Pyroar. So it gets weaker as he gets weaker, which is kind of an interesting mechanic. I feel like there's only a few cards that actually have that minus to them. He's also very tilted centering wise, but that's okay. The EX cards I tend to use in decks. Let's pick another Mega Pyroar to go with the one that we just found. Oh, my autofocus did not want to stay focused there. Sorry about that. The autofocus is usually pretty spot on, although every once in a while it decides to focus on my finger instead of the card itself. It's funny because I actually have a nice DSLR camera that I could be filming with, but I think my phone actually does a better job, ironically, because the autofocus on my camera is very, very slow. I actually tried to use it when I was filming my last roleplay in the Verdian Forest, and I did a whole night of takes using that, but it just was so different and dark, and I don't know, I didn't like how it came out, so I reshot all of that night, which is a shame, because the actual DSLR, I can actually watch myself while I'm filming, which makes it a lot easier to make sure I'm not going out of frame. But that's okay. I wonder if the next set that is coming out, I think Pitch Black is what it's going to be called, is going to be as small as these last couple sets have been. We'll just let those fall forwards now. I also find it interesting that they are doing another main set, because usually the pattern seemed to be they would release like one or two main release sets like these, and then they would release a special secondary set, like Ascended Heroes or Prismatic Evolutions. And those sets tend to have like really, really fun art cards in them, but the hit rates are usually terrible because of the use of god packs. I think it just cuts down on your chances of pulling the SARs and the IRs, because I've opened a very decent amount of Prismatic Evolutions, and I have never hit any Pokemon illustration rares. A lot of supporters, but no Pokemon, which is kind of a bummer because it's so difficult to find. I am hoping, because they installed one of the Pokemon vending machines at my local pavilions recently, and I have not personally gotten anything out of it. It's usually always sold out, but I did see someone managed to get one pack of Destined Rivals, so I know they do stock it. Just have to get there at the right time. Oh, there we go. Apologies, I apparently hit a lock button on my autofocus, which is why it was not continuously changing. It is kind of funny seeing all the people like camping out by the vending machine though whenever we go shopping there, which I think is kind of silly. Like, if I pass by it, I'm obviously gonna check to see if they have any product, but I'm never like really expecting it to, and I just don't think I could justify just hanging out there all day in hopes of especially because I feel like most of the people that are doing that are trying to scalp the cards, which is a shame. Oh, nice. We got our first Zubat of the night. That's crazy. I love the Zubat because he's like soaring over a street at dusk, and you can see like all the little telephone wires there, kind of thing there, a couple street lamps underneath. It's fun. It emits ultrasonic waves from its mouth to check its surroundings. Even in tight caves, Zubats flies around with skill. It's always funny to me that there's always like one common card that I'll open up a bunch of packs and just never find. For Prismatic, it was Badoo, of course. And I don't think we've actually pulled this guy tonight either, which is ironic because he's a common card. You can tell by the little circle right there. We have a reverse hollow Corviknight, which is like a Venus flytrap Pokemon. He's seen here kind of wrapped around this kind of ancient tree branch there and looks very excited to see you. And we have another Crobat. Both of its legs have turned into wings. Without a sound, Crobat flies swiftly towards its prey and sinks its fangs into the nape of its target's neck. Alright, we're getting down to the final packs here. As I was saying, it'd be nice if the next main set has a little bit more cards in it than just the like 122 that this one has. Although, like, I do like the smaller sets in a sense that they are much easier to actually collect. I'm pretty certain at this point I pretty much have the main set all master setted out, and I just need some of the more expensive illustration rares. Which would be nice if I could hit one of them so I don't have to spend as much money trying to get them or trade. When I was at Pokemon Worlds last year, that was in Anaheim, they actually had a really cool area that was a trade-only zone. And the way it worked is you were not allowed to spend any actual cash on the cards there. You could only trade it for other cards or sealed product. I thought that was just so fun because it is really what the game was made for in the first place, is to be a trading card game. You're not supposed to be able to buy like 1,000 packs. Oh, nope, just an EX. I got overexcited seeing the texture down there. Oh, we have a Crocodile EX. Nice. I actually don't think I had this one, so that's pretty cool. He's like really launching out towards us there. That's funny. The Crocodile EX is the evolved form of the Krokorok. He features especially like with new sets, I like to get my videos out right away because it's more interesting for everyone to kind of see all the new cards, and it definitely helps with the algorithm as well. So if you have made it this far in the opening, I'm really thankful to all of you for all of your support and great comments, and just it's mind-blowing to me that we've come so far with this channel. Because like initially I just wanted to start an ASMR channel because I personally have used ASMR in the past to just kind of help me relax when I can't fall asleep and just like through some tougher times, and I wanted to be able to do that for others. So I thought, oh nice, that it would be fun to combine that with my love of Pokemon. So I'm very grateful to all of you. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. And we pulled another EX card. Looks like all the EX cards were kind of hiding in the backpacks. This EX is the Beedrill, and he has one single attack, Rumbling Bees, that does 110 damage for each of your Beedrill and Beedrill EX in play. Always a fun strategy. I believe we actually pulled this guy in my ETP as well. I'm over there. My EX pile's gotten a little long. And I do hope that my videos have been helping you guys out as well. I've been definitely having a ton of fun making them and like designing out the backgrounds and doing my nails to match all the sets. It's been a fun challenge, especially because I did the gel nails once, which were really cool because it basically dries like instantly, which is crazy. But to get them off, they use this like electric, kind of like not a drill, but it just kind of like shaves it down, and my nails were like ruined for 6 months, so it just didn't seem worth it. So since then, I've been just painting them myself with regular nail polish, which has actually made it more fun because it gives me more opportunity to change it out and try and match the actual cards in boxes. And this card I actually don't think we had pulled yet. It's the new Pokemon tool of the set, the Adversity Policy. It reads, if the Pokemon in this card is attached to, has weakness to your opponent's active Pokemon type, then it's in the active spot and is damaged by an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, then you get to draw 3 cards. That is a mouthful of a description. And another Ambrose. The tail's tip shines brightly and can be seen from far away. It acts as a beacon for lost people. Alright, we have another Mega Pyro. I do wish that they would release booster boxes for the secondary sets, because it is definitely really nice to be able to open so many of the same set. And That's okay. I'm also excited because I'm waiting on a package from Pokemon Center with a new playmat. They released one that was based around the Celadon City gambling area. Casino, that is the word I'm looking for. And it is a really, really fun one. I'm so excited about. It's like so far I've been playing with Mew Mat for a while now, and I do love it, but it's always fun to change it up for game nights. Do it on each side. We're down to our final 5 packs of the night. Final 5. We have a psychic energy. Lit Leo. Watchhog. Oh, an Octillery. I actually don't think we've pulled any Octillery. That's funny. The Octillery is the evolved form of the Remoraid. So he went from a fish to an octopus somehow. He features 2 attacks, Jet of Ink and Tantrum. The Jet of Ink does 30 damage, and during your opponent's next turn, if the defending Pokemon tries to use an attack, they have to flip 2 coins. If either of them is tails, then the attack misses, which is pretty cool. The Tantrum does 120 damage, but it also confuses the Octillery. Oh no, that's funny. I have a Fampi. Our army of Metagross has gained another member. Ninetales. It has 9 long tails and fur that gleams gold. It is said to have lived for 1,000 years. Adversity Policy. Reverse Hollow Zubat. Reverse Hollow Bubbly Energy. And a Delphox. Down to our 4th from last. I'm actually running very low on sleeves. I need to order a new batch of them. I use the Perfect Fit sleeves. I forget what company it is though. I have the link down in the description. I just really like the Perfect Fit because it just makes it so much easier to store in your binders, and if you're actually playing with the cards, it fits in the sleeves a lot better. We have a Dark Energy. Carnivine. The Carnivine has an attack called Chomp Hole. It does 80 damage, and if your opponent's active Pokemon has no retreat cost, then the attack does an additional 80 damage. That's kind of fun. We have a Zubat, a Ferroseed, which I don't think I actually went over any of the Ferroseeds. They feature a rolling tackle attack for 40 damage. diversity policy. Reverse hollow Imoka. Reverse hollow Kildale. And another Kudra. Alright. 3 packs to go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Apologies if I feel like I'm getting a little bit more kooky just because it is almost 1 in the morning, I want to say, at this point. I always have to film a little bit later in the day just because I have a 2-year-old son, so I cannot film while he is awake because you would hear it in the background. Fortunately, he is still on 1 nap, so sometimes I can't get around to filming during his naps, but usually there's some sort of like construction going on or people talking outside the window, so it's usually a lot easier to just film at night. That's a little bit more calming. But with videos like this where it is a very long take, then it can go a little bit late into the evening. Taros. Reverse hollow Boltoy. Oh, fun! We got the full art Cernius. Beautiful. Oh, she's really cool. Love this. Who's the illustrator? It's Yashiro Nanako. Oh, that's so pretty. There's so many fun, like, little graphic details in this, like, kind of rainbow vine that's growing from kind of like where she's stepping. It's growing out of it. I love that. There's some beautiful sparkles, and I love that they did all the different colors for her horns to match the description. That is a really pretty card. Oh. We got some really fun ones tonight, you guys. And the chestnut. Let's definitely get our Xerneas protected. Beautiful. Love it. I need to take a day and just reorganize my binders with all the new illustration rares that we've been getting. Oh no. Well, we are down to our penultimate pack of the night. Let's see. It's a little bent, so maybe that's a good sign. I feel like all the bent cards have really good cards in them. I always joke about that at game night. Although I've been actually very pleased with our collection that we've been gaining this evening. Alright. QR code for you. Our energy to the front. And we have a metal energy. A watch hog. Funpy, funpy, funpy. Carnivine. Beldum. Taros. Ungefloet. Deoxys. Reverse hollow chestnut. Oh, we got another Froakie. Oh, that's hilarious. Figures the 2 singles that I pulled in my packs earlier. That is okay, because Froakie is such a fun card, and I can definitely trade him for some that I'm missing. That is hilarious that we got both of those. I really love the art on this, though. was grass. If you guessed grass, you win an energy card. We have a Beldum. Kakuna. Fluffy. A Froakie. A Tauros. A Transformation Dome. Defense Deoxys. Reverse Hollow Flappy. Reverse Hollow Froakie. And an Ampharos to end the night with an electric pulse. Well, friends, thank you so much for taking the time to join me as I unbox this set. I know this was a super long one, so if you have made it through all the way, you are awesome, and thank you so much for your support.